Hey friends, welcome back to another Pick a Card Tarot reading. My name is JP and this is Junodrome Intuitive Arts. Today we are going to be asking what surprising good news is coming into your life. So take a look below. We have 3 different piles to choose from. In the description section of this video, you can get a link to your reading for either pile number 1, pile number 2, or pile number 3. If you need a little bit more time to choose, I understand. You can find a link at the end of the video to a longer extended card selection period so you can have some more time. Or you can press pause. Either way, we're going to be starting our reading right now. So I will see you in your reading. I'm excited to bring these to you. Catch you there. Hey there, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. So we're going to find out what is your surprising good news. You chose the pile with this clear quartz stone. Let's just throw that up there. All right, your surprising good news is that you have something worth celebrating. There's reason to be proud of yourself here. So the surprising good news that's coming in is you're going to be given a reason to feel satisfaction around yourself right now. The universe is trying to show you that you have a lot of things in your life that are worth celebrating and being really happy about. It's like sometimes I put this in self-love as well. In my own deck that I'm making, I make it a little bit... We could go back and forth with the meaning of this card. Sometimes people think he's really conceited because of the look on his face. But I think sometimes, though, too, we don't allow ourselves to feel good about ourselves either. And many of us have this thing where we just don't want to... We don't want to admit when we do really well because we don't want to feel conceited, and we don't want to feel like, well, I don't want to pretend to be more than I am, or pretend to be putting on airs, that kind of thing. But I think that the universe is giving you an opportunity to actually, celebrate the things that you have done well. And actually you've earned all these trophies here, right? There's 9 trophies that you've earned in this card. So it's like the universe is giving you an opportunity to really see and understand just how far you've come in life, how successful you've been in certain aspects and certain areas, and just how positive of a change you have coming in your life, that the movement and extent to which you've grown and built this strong sense of self is something that's worth celebrating and connecting to and really incorporating into your life more. And the good news that's coming in is that the universe is giving you more reason to celebrate your wins here, that there are more wins to come, that you're being given this opportunity to feel really proud and good about yourself here. So let's keep looking at some cards. I think that you have a tendency to let your thoughts throw you in some situations. And because of that leaves you feeling really confused about maybe what you want, where you want to go. And I think that maybe you got this sort of knee-jerk thinking pattern happening sometimes where, maybe one negative thought about yourself can lead you into believing that nothing about you is worth celebrating, right? That maybe like one small minor flaw or situation that happens, one little kink in the road can set you off into this negative self-talk spiral potentially even. And so with the moon card here and these two together, it's sort of showing like there's a sense where, you don't have to let one bad thought derail your whole parade, right? I think that's a big thing here. And so where this good news coming in is almost like you need to learn how to allow yourself to see the positive aspects about where you are and what's happening, because there are some real positive aspects about where you are. Now, I think with the moon as well, I think that it's a little bit unclear to you just what those positive aspects are. And so that could be a part of this too, is like it's much easier for you to see the things in your life and the situations that are happening that you don't like and that you don't want and that aren't great, right? It's always easier for all of us to think about what it is we don't want as opposed to thinking about what's working and what's going well. It's easy to criticize, and it's easy to become very self critical, self blocking, self pitying, self all of these negative self feelings about ourselves, right? It's sometimes it's much easier to do that than it is to just like take the compliment, right? Like, actually, no, I am doing well. No, I do have some things figured out. Maybe I don't have everything figured out. With the moon, maybe you don't see all of the steps ahead of you, but there's a few things you do see about yourself. And I'm sure there are a few things about yourself that you like, that you can feel proud of. And that's a part of this reading, is like the good news coming in is kind of like the news that you have to share with yourself. What good news can you share with yourself about your life? There are things that but it's going to take you accepting that there are good things about your life in order to allow that to come in more. There has to be a way to accept within yourself that you have the keys at your disposal to feel comfortable about yourself, to feel loving about yourself, to feel like that things are possible for you, that you can do whatever you want. You gotta start telling yourself that you can do that, because that's what's going to help you feel more connected, more aligned, more like you can have these possibilities. I've been reading reversals lately in my readings. I never used to, but for whatever reason, lately they've been wanting to come in that way. So I'm gonna do that. I think, having these two mirroring each other is actually really quite interesting. The knights to me represent the movement, what's moving in the reading. So you have two knights here. With a knight being in reverse, I think that maybe there's a lack of movement in one area and there's movement in another. So I think that there's movement in this reading, in thinking, in the mind, in the mental ability. So I think that you don't have any problem with understanding on a on like in like a mind level, like a logical level. I think it's really easy for you to understand, like, okay, I did this thing, I got this result, this is great, wonderful. But I think it's a little bit harder for you to tap into the emotionality of it. Like, oh my gosh, I achieved this thing that was really hard and I feel so proud of myself. So the good news that's coming in is like you're being given an opportunity to feel proud of yourself here. So really try to take the opportunity and the time and the space to make yourself feel proud of all that you've accomplished in life and all that you've been able to make happen. Because sometimes we need to take the time to actually feel those things, and we need to give ourselves space and time to make those feelings possible. And sometimes it's difficult to really allow that in, and so there's a need here to really open up and accept that you have things within you to be proud of. And by feeling proud of yourself, you can open yourself up to allowing more of that in. And that's where that good news comes in. Is like the more that you can feel proud of yourself for what you've done, the more that you can allow in more like that. And I think you are coming out of some difficult situation here too. This is the Dark Night of the Soul card, and with it being in reverse, I do feel like you're coming out of that. And that could be another part of where the challenge of connecting into feeling good about yourself and your situation might be coming in, because maybe you've been through some really challenging things in the past, and that's set you up subconsciously to start waiting for the other shoe to drop, and so it's like, well, no, I can't feel peace because anything at any moment could derail this great feeling that I have. So I'm not going to even let myself feel it, because it could just, at any moment, it could just get yanked out from under me, right? But I don't think that that's coming right now. And even if it were coming right now, I think it's also important to remember that we only have this moment that we're in. This moment right here, right now is all that we can actually experience. And so, yes, we can imagine challenging situations in the future for ourselves, and we can do that in some false sense of trying to prepare for the worst. But in reality, that's not here. What's here is this moment. And if you're in a good space in this moment, then it is worth letting yourself feel good about where you are, because you won't always be here either. And that's important to remember. You know, we fluctuate as people. We go through cycles and patterns. We have ups and we have downs. And it's up to you to really let yourself feel proud when you have the time to feel proud, because that is the time to feel it when you have that time, right? And you got to make that time for yourself too, because it's important. It's important to acknowledge when you're doing something well. It's important to acknowledge when you're doing something right. And it's important to let yourself know that, you know, and give yourself the space and time to feel good about yourself, because there are going to be times when you don't feel good about yourself too, right? So it's up to you to take the time to learn how to do that, because the more you can do that, the more you can build up this stronger inner being, this stronger inner self, and build up into it more. Now, the final card here is the Ace of Swords. So at the very end of this reading, you are being given an opportunity, and the good news is coming in is there is a shift in thinking here possible too. So the more that you become present with yourself and feel better about your achievements and feel better about the possibilities that you have for yourself, the more that you can start to feel like, you know what? I can think about things differently now. I don't have to feel like I'm stuck in this perpetual everything's terrible moment. Actually, things are possible for me. Actually, I have possibilities. Actually, I have capabilities. Actually, I can make things happen for myself. I don't have to feel like nothing is possible and nothing can happen. I can actually feel like I can do things, and I can actually feel like I can move. And so ultimately, the good news that's coming in for you, pile number one, is a new frame of mind, a new way of thinking, a new way of understanding. And it's just going to take you, you know, really celebrating yourself more and showing yourself that compassion. Because the more that you can do that, the more that you open the space within in order to create more and more things that make you feel proud, and more things that make you feel good about yourself. So pile number one, I'm going to leave you there. These are nice, succinct readings tonight. So I hope that it lands you well. I'm glad to be giving this to you. Let me know what you think in the comments. Either way, I love hearing from everybody. So definitely leave a comment if you can. Give this video a like. It helps. And wait, I have my little watcha. Like and subscribe. Yay! I'm trying to grow the channel, so, you know, anything you can do to help would be great. Okay, see you later, pile number one. I'll catch you later. Bye. Hello, pile number two. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be a reading showing you what surprising good news is entering your life. You chose the reading with this, I think it's topaz, I'm pretty sure. Let's figure it out together. So, what surprising good news is coming into your life? You're getting a creative breakthrough. Yeah, she's like the most creative card in the block. So creativity can be all sorts of things. You don't have to be an artist. You definitely can be. This could be for my artists here, but it could be for anybody. Creativity is what we all have. This human ingenuity, this invention energy. This inventors and scientists and business people, and everybody's got some kind of creativity, creative force. So you're having an aha moment, a breakthrough, an understanding. The good news is coming in is that if you've been experiencing any kind of writer's block, any kind of blockages, any kind of, I don't know if I can move forward, right? You're coming out of that. This is coming out. This is a new moment, a new energy, new idea. You're ready to birth a new idea into the world. It's coming. So the good news is you got a new idea. Ooh, okay, I like this so far. Yeah, okay, and this is where it's coming from. We have some really clear energy on where this is coming from. It's coming from the fact that your creative idea is going to come from a place of It's being born from the blockages. It's being born from the stuck. It's being born from the things that haven't been going your way because um, adversity, what is this quote? Adversity is the engine of ingenuity or something like that. That's not right, but that's kind of what I'm trying to think of. This idea that like if you're being given a no, you're going to learn how to turn that no into a yes anyway, right? Like maybe the way that you thought that this was going to happen it has been lost. That original understanding is clearly not going to work anymore. And I think that maybe that's a part of where you were feeling stuck or you were feeling lost or you're feeling blocked. But the temperance card is coming in to let you know, like, actually, no. The the situations that have been existing that have been putting a brick wall in front of your face are actually conditions that you can take and use to create something even better and even stronger than you would have been able to make if you weren't faced with this setback. So this setback is really an opportunity to mold and change and adapt into something even bigger and brighter and more capable and more creative and more powerful because it exists from this place of navigating adversity. And I think that you're about to have that creative aha breakthrough where you learn to, I always say it with this card, but you learn how to make lemonade out of your lemons, right? That's what the temperance card is all about. It's about alchemizing two opposing forces, two seemingly separate forces, and alchemizing them together to make some magical third thing. You know, we think about alchemy in this like transforming one iron into gold, right? And so it's like there's this ability to transmute these forces that are seemingly flowing around you in a chaotic way. You're able to take the reins through this chaos that you might be experiencing and ride it through to some outcome that is creative and possible in a way that maybe you would have never expected. And you have a new beginning in the emotions from this. I think that by connecting into this and really running with this energy and this idea and this feeling, it's going to leave you feeling so good about yourself. And it's a new beginning towards your emotions too. So it's like your emotionality through this is really going to be feeling more connected, like by giving yourself this understanding that you can navigate seemingly dead ends. You can navigate chaos and strange situations, and you can sail into a brighter direction for yourself. That's going to leave you feeling so good and so proud and so capable of yourself and what you can do and all possible outcomes in that. And so the Ace of Cups is really kind of coming in to let you know, like, hey, you have real possibilities here. And this is a new beginning and a new start for you. And this creative breakthrough is really going to help you feel energized about yourself again in a way that maybe you haven't felt in a long time. And it's going to help you feel connected to yourself again in a way that maybe you haven't felt in a long time. So yeah, I ultimately the nights are all about where the energy is moving in a reading, and the energy is all in the passion here. It's all in inspiration. It's charging full steam ahead towards inspired capability. It's this beautiful feeling that you're riding off into the desert, right? In this like psychedelic, beautiful, wonderful, joyous journey, right? I think you're about to the journey you've been on, and I do feel like you've been on a probably a long journey in this pile number 2, but the journey that you're in on is about to open up into this next level. And like you're opening up. I'm imagining this night riding in the desert here. It's like you're riding in a plateau, right? So it's like you've been climbing and climbing and climbing, and then all of a sudden you end up the Mongolian plateau or something, where you're just like this big, wide open possibilities, this wide open stretch. So it's like you overcome these challenges and this adversity, and then all of a sudden you're open on this big, wide open plain, able to just gallop into any possibility, right? Like you think about the plains, these plateau plain environments, they're as far as the eye can see is just open land, open possibility, right? They call Montana, not that Montana is full plains, but it's close to them. They call it big sky country, right? Big sky country because it's all sky. It's this big, wide open stretch up above, and I feel that that's what's opening up to you is this open field of possibilities. And the good news is coming in is that you're going to be able to tap into that openness, and that's going to help you feel so possible in a way that maybe you felt stuck and impossible for so long. It's like this wide open stretch of beauty. I keep talking about wide open stretches here, so let's keep going. And I've been reading reversals, and I think I still will. So, like I was saying, I do think that you've been through some difficult things here with the Dark Night of the Soul card. So I'm not necessarily feeling like you're in a Dark Night of the Soul period, though. It doesn't feel like that's the energy in this reading. So I'm going to interpret that as being past energy here. So if you have been through difficult situations, it can be really hard to come back to a place where we feel like things are possible again, because it just kind of like changes our whole internal environment when you go through trauma or difficulty or hard things. And so there's a sense with this, though, that it's like that feeling was leaving you feeling like you couldn't connect to your emotions and like nothing was possible, with the Emperor and the Queen of Cups in reverse. And I do feel like that was the past here. And that's what the good news is coming in is showing that chapter is ending now. That the good news is that chapter is coming to a close. But there's a few key pieces that you need to do to finally get out of this energy, right? And I think that's really important here, is like, it's not necessarily inevitable that you're getting. I mean, this is all of the energy is leading you towards this point. So I do think that that's where you're going. But like I said, there's a few steps you got to do. And the biggest thing here is you have to embrace the Temperance card here. That's one of the most important cards of this reading. So it's the real thing to focus on here. The good news is coming in is that you're going to feel that you're able to do this and you're going to have these creative breakthroughs, but they come from understanding that you are the alchemist here in your life. You are the alchemist, right? You need to turn this emperor of, oh, nothing I do works, nothing I can do will ever work. You need to turn that emperor and you need to turn him around. And you need to become the emperor of your life again here. It's really, really important. That's what's going to help you really lock in this breakthrough and make sure that it happens for you, right? Is to understand that you are in the driver's seat here. You hold the keys to your life's car, right? You can go in any direction that you choose. And so how can you take the seeming setbacks that exist for you? How can you take them and change them so that you are leading yourself to this new creative venture, right? So yeah, anyway, the good news, the surprising good news that's coming in for you is that you have a creative breakthrough on your horizon, and it's just going to take you learning how to see things from a slightly different perspective and open yourself up to this catalytic change of transforming your energy from nothing is possible to, oh, maybe, to, wow, what if I did this instead? Or what if I moved this way? Maybe that would change everything. And I think it does. I think it opens it up and it makes you go, wow, now actually I can do whatever. Anything is really possible for me. So anyway, pile number 2, I'm going to leave you there. I hope that this resonated. Let me know in the comments what you think. I really do love hearing from everybody, and a comment from you, even if it's just pile number 2 or, an emoji. It does help the algorithm let people know that this is a video worth watching. So if you've gotten this far and you can, I would love it if you could do that. And my little message here, if you want to like and subscribe this video, that helps me too. So thank you. I appreciate it. Right? So yeah. Anyway, thanks again, guys, for tuning in, and thanks for being patient with me as I've been re-navigating how to get back into this kind of thing. And like and subscribe. All right, catch you later. Bye. Hi there, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So, we're going to find out what surprising good news is coming into your life right now. You chose this, it's supposed to be citrine, but it is very clearly just a clear quartz that's been slightly dyed yellow. So, it's what you get for ordering off the internet, right? But, so we've got our yellow dyed quartz, which is fine. I love me some quartz. Let's see. Surprising good news coming in your life. Yeah. You guys, this is great. So, what surprising good news is coming in for you? Happiness. Actual happiness. Real happiness. You've got happiness here. You have all of the tools at your disposal to really feel happy. Now, take a look at this card. This is important. This card is ultimate happiness here. But look at how it's been drawn. There are plenty of cards in these tarot decks showing these like immensely wealthy, lavish people. This family is not like that. The ultimate happy family, look, they're a humble family here. It's just a humble family outside in nature, enjoying being alive, enjoying each other's company in a very humble, peaceful kind of way. And so the surprising good news that's coming in for your life is that you can achieve real joy right now. And even if joy feels really, really far away from you, and I feel like maybe for a fair amount of people watching this, I do get the sense that maybe happiness feels very elusive, like actual, true, genuine joy feels a bit hard to tackle right now, or hard to come into contact with. You do have all of the tools at your disposal to experience it right now. And the thing about happiness is it's like, happiness is a state of being that is not achieved through external circumstances. It's actually an internal state of being. And you can be happy in anything. And that doesn't mean you need to be like content with, if you're in a life situation that isn't working and is challenging and is not good, like it doesn't mean you have to just like pretend like none of that is happening, right? That is not happiness. That is denial, and that's not helping you. But you can begin to feel a sense of gratitude towards the small things in your life that are here. And by tapping into that gratitude energy, that helps bring you into a state of feeling like things are really possible for you. And it makes you start to feel a little bit happier about what you do have. So my question for you is, what is in your life right now that can make you feel happier? Right? What things do you have at your disposal? What are the small joys that bring you a sense of contentment? Is it taking a bath, right? Is it lighting some candles and sitting in the dim, warm glow? Is it going for a walk by the ocean or in the forest? These are some things to start to think about that might help you feel a little bit more connected to the possibilities and that happiness energy, because it's like it's going to take you walking in that direction to find it. Now let's look at some cards here. I do feel like you've been in a stuck period. Oh yeah, look at that, double stuck. I feel like you've been feeling very, very stuck lately. But the good news is coming in is that there are the conditions to alleviate that. that energy. There's the possibility of walking out of that here. You're being given the tools by the universe to walk away from feeling like things aren't possible for you, right? That you have these tools for you. Now, how do you get out of that? Uh-huh. Okay, I can't show this whole card. How can I fix that? Here, we'll just do one of these here. Hold on. All right, so how do you get out of feeling stuck when you feel like there's no way forward for you? Honestly, one of the big thing is changing your scenery here. I think this is going to be big for you. You have the student energy, the learner energy in the physical world around you, your physical environment, your job, your health, your home, your town, your city, whatever. I see an ability here to really jump out of this heartbreak energy that you might be in by changing the scenery. And like I was saying before, this could be as easy as going into nature more and taking walks and taking more periods in fresh air, more nature periods. There's an ability here that's going to help you learn how to get out of this negative cycle by changing up your environment enough to start to get these periods of contemplation, of long contemplation, where you start to get ideas about your life. You'll start to see your life from an outside perspective a little bit more. You'll start to see all of the situations that have lined up to lead you to where you are in a bigger way, in a more clear way, so you can clear out all of the difficulty and feel more possible. And yeah, and find a place that's more abundant to you as well, an energy that's more conducive to stability. I do think that there's a potential for some people here, not everybody, but for some people here, I do think that there might even be a suggestion of moving somewhere else, really changing your location. But that's not for everybody. It could, like I said, it could be as simple as just getting out of your house more, of getting out of one thing. I think that there's some stagnant energy in your location, and that the good news is coming in is like, actually, you have all of the conditions exist within your life to be truly, truly happy. And it might take changing things up a little bit here to allow that in, but you can make those changes. And yeah, and I think that's going to help you alleviate this feeling like, this could be depression. This could be debilitating depression for some people. You might really be encountering that. Not everybody here is, but some people are. So this could be an opportunity to kind of like come back out of that. And any of this sort of stuck energy in general, but like with the Ten of Swords, it can be burnout energy too. If you're just feeling burnt out, if you feel like you just can't move, first of all, that's okay. That's a part of life. We all kind of, no, not everybody gets to be the super debilitating kind, but it is important to remember that even if you are at that you can still move in a new direction. And it's tough when you're in those places. And I have been in that kind of depression before. I've been real low in my life. And it's tough when you're in the lowest of the lows, because it's like, how do you even get out of that? It all seems so impossible. And what you do is you take it one small, tiny step at a time. Like I was kind of saying at the beginning with that gratitude practice. And honestly, gratitude practices might be really helpful for you. There are these really, really great gratitude affirmations on YouTube, which you could try to find if you wanted to. But doing that kind of practice over and over again, honestly, is one thing that helped me get out of feeling destroyed about myself. Like it really did help me in so many ways. And so it's definitely a possibility for you to get out of this feelings. It just might take some time and some energy and really putting in the work towards feeling calmer about yourself, feeling possible, feeling like you can do anything. And that just comes from you proving to yourself one small step at a time that you can do something tiny. Maybe today it's just getting out of bed. Maybe it's just getting up relatively early, taking a shower, dressing in nice clothes, and going to the grocery store. Dress up for the grocery store for yourself, just for one day, just to feel better, just to feel like you have something you can be doing to make yourself feel a little bit better. And the more that you take those small little steps, the more that you start to feel like things are actually capable for you, that things are really truly possible for you, that you have real movement possible for you. And then you have this cascading effect where you can build up into getting better, right? I'm just thinking of Esther Hicks. I don't know if you watch any of her things. She's hit or miss for people. So if she's not your thing, like, don't worry about it. But she does have some really great points about like the rampage or whatever that she goes through, where basically it's like, it's hard to go from depressed to ecstatic in one jump, but you can go from depressed to kind of not depressed, and kind of not depressed to just okay, and just okay to all right, and all right to and to wow, and wow to oh man, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you kind of got to go on this ladder of emotional riding the vortex or whatever. I don't know. No, the vortex for her is like what you want. She's one of those super hyper manifest people. So take that as you want, but sometimes it can be really helpful. So maybe for some of you, Google Esther Hicks. Like, she's a really inspirational speaker. But there is that kind of feeling to this reading where it's like you gotta kind of take it one little small step at a time. But the good news is, happiness is here for you. It's possible. It's just you tuning into that happiness. That happiness, it's like, imagine, you're standing outside and the sun is shining and you open an umbrella and now the sun is blocked because you have an umbrella open. The sun isn't gone because you have an umbrella between you and the sun, right? The sun isn't gone. It's still shining. And happiness is kind of the same way. Happiness is there. It's possible for you. There's a state of being where you're really content about life, where things don't faze you as much, and you feel real joy. That phase is there. It's just you got the umbrella open, which is fine. That happens to all of us. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. It's just, if you don't want to feel that way anymore, you can take the small steps to close that umbrella and open yourself back up to the sun that wants to come in. And our final card here is the Knight of Cups. And that's a really, really good card to have in this reading, because the knights are the movement in the tarot. They're what movement is happening in this reading. And the movement that's happening in this reading is towards your emotions. So, if you are in a depressive state, it is important to try to connect into your emotions more in order to feel happiness, right? Depression is kind of like numb. We don't feel any of it. We don't feel the bad. We don't feel the good. We don't feel anything, right? I'm not saying that's where you are, but a lot of people could get to that point, right? And so it's important to remember, in order to feel happiness, you kind of have to let all of the feelings back in. And so that might be hard at first, because chances are there's some really challenging emotions that you're blocking yourself from feeling. And that's where this depression energy could be coming from. I know for me, a lot of my depression was a direct result of not wanting to feel my emotions. And so that is a possibility here too, that's important to keep in mind, is that as you open yourself up to these feelings, it might be a little bit of a tricky thing, but just remember that this happiness is here for you. And it's possible for you, and you can feel joy, and you can feel tapped into that, and you can feel tapped into your happiness, right? I'm even using Esther Hicks' language, tapping in, tapped in, tap into it, right? Some people are going to get something out of that. I'm sure. So yeah, anyway, pile number 3, the good news that's here for you is that you have every possibility open to you to be happy. It's here. It's possible for you. And remember, happiness doesn't necessarily come from an external state. It's something you can build within, but you have all of the conditions available to you to make that happen. So even just that can help you, is just knowing that it's here, it's possible for you. There's nothing blocking it from you except the situation that you're in. But even then, it's like there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing inherent about you that makes you incapable of being happy, right? Nothing like that. You have every right to be happy. You have every right to deserve contentment. You have every right to feel good about yourself and about life. You have every right to feel those feelings. There's nothing wrong with feeling those feelings, and there's nothing wrong with you. So just remind yourself that, right? You have every possibility here of being a happy person if you want it. And you don't even need to want it either, like contentment is fine. Peace is fine, right? It doesn't even necessarily have to be happy. You don't have to be some fake version of yourself that isn't authentic to you, Not all of us are happy-go-lucky people, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Be who you are and be okay with who you are and be content with who you are and love who you are no matter what, right? I think that's important. So anyway, pile number 3, I'm going to leave that here. I hope that this reading was good for you. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please do leave a comment if you have gotten this far and you feel like you want to. It really does help me and helps the algorithm a lot to have people interact with this video. So even if you just leave a little comment saying pile number 3, or you leave some emojis or something like that, it really does help me out a lot. So I appreciate it. And then my last little message here, like and subscribe. Go ahead, like this video if you want to. That helps me as well. And if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. I love having you with me. Many, many more readings to come, friends. So stay tuned. Catch you later. Bye.